Hello, everyone, and welcome to Immigration Live with Lee. It's another wonderful Monday night, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard at Detroit time. And today is Monday, October 6th, 2025. So I'm here yet again to provide context, explanation, and to just talk about immigration topics as people need them to be discussed. As always, type your questions and comments in the comment section so I can get to them as the program progresses. So I'm live streaming from Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. So if you're on any of those platforms, welcome. When you join us, please let me know where you're joining us from so I could give a shout out to you. I appreciate very much joining me. I know that this is a very beneficial program for a lot of people. I've had a lot of very positive feedback and support from you guys who are actually participating and watching my videos as I put them on YouTube after the live sessions. So don't forget to subscribe and to like so you get notified of future videos and different things that I have on my channel. It's all free for the picking. You can take it for what it's worth. You don't have to pay for it, which is pretty awesome. So anyway, welcome again. Please type your questions as you have them. I have some questions that were asked of me earlier today, so I could provide them to you. But I would like to see live questions, so please let me know. Okay. So let's see. Is anyone? Okay. This is a random question about which years are now getting invitations for the 589 first interview. So I'm not sure the context of that. So basically, we're talking asylum interviews is what I believe. If we're talking affirmative asylum, I don't know, because everything's all over the map. It depends on, of course, when your case was filed, but they don't release that information. It really depends on a case-by-case basis. The asylum offices are very different than USCIS. It's all part of Department of Homeland Security, but certain things like asylum, they do not post processing times. You just have to wait and see what happens, and that's for affirmative asylum. The defensive asylum, of course, is in the deportation hearing in immigration court. And also they don't post stuff in the immigration court at all either. So there's no answer for you, unfortunately. Okay. Let's see here. And I'm looking for, here's a question. I have questions. This is Rise Jerusalem 73. Bona fide means approved. That's the question. No, bona fide means genuine, legitimate, bona fide. That's what that means. So bona fide determination is probably what you're referring to. A bona fide determination means that the government says, yeah, we think that this is probably a legitimate case. If we're talking about a U visa, this is probably a pretty likely that this is a real case. So we're going to go ahead and give you your work permit years ahead of what we used to do. And it's called a bona fide determination. Okay. So if they made that determination and determined it was bona fide, you will get your work authorization ahead of your U visa. Okay. So I hope that helps. Let's see here. Okay. Yep. I hope you're okay, Rise Jerusalem. It looks like you asked a question again in caps this time. So I trust that you got that answer and you now know what it means. Okay. Okay. Here's a question from Michael. Do you have to check in with the National Visa Center every year if you have a pending I-130? Well, I've never had an I-130. I'm assuming you mean an approved I-130, okay? I've never had an I-130 process take longer than a year. So if you mean an approved I-130, then no, you don't ask the National Visa Center. You either look at my videos and I tell you where to look. And Michael, if you tell me where you are and when it was filed, I can kind of give you an idea of how long it's taken now, because they do post those processing times. It depends on your category and your country, okay? So that's how they do it, and they do absolutely post that. So, so yes. Let me know if you want to post more to your question in the comments. And Rise Jerusalem, it's my pleasure. I'm glad you got that question answered, and I hope it helps you. Hope you're able to move forward with your work authorization if that's what you're asking about, okay? Okay, and I'm reading more. Okay, so the question is, after the work permit is received, after it's determined bona fide, how long or how much longer to receive a final approval letter? If you're talking about a U visa, it depends on when it was filed. U visas sometimes take 3 to 5 years, depending on when it was filed and how backed up they are. Hence, the work authorization ahead of schedule, so you don't have to wait for the U visa process to go all the way through. But usually it's 3 to 5 years for most U visa requests, because they're that busy, okay? Okay. Okay, so let me see here. We got a Venezuelan friend asking a question. Nayla Prats, what is the processing time for an I-130? I don't think you mean processing time. I think availability of the visa, I think, is what you mean again. You're Venezuelan, your husband is a resident. Let me look up real quickly. So husband's a resident. You're from Venezuela. Okay, let me see here. I-130. Again, it depends on your field office. I don't know where you're physically located, but the quickest is 17 months and the longest is 68.5 months. That's how long it's taken I-130 petitions to go through and to get approved. I've never had mine take even remotely that long. I don't know what's going on with these processing times. Is probably a product of what's going on with the government, with politics, with everything. So, but that gives you an answer to your question there. I hope that helps. Okay. 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 So, oh, and you're joining from Bogota. So, greetings. Bogota is a really cool place. Love Bogota. So yes, it's my pleasure to provide that information to you, and also Rise Jerusalem, my pleasure indeed. Okay, let me look to see if I missed anything else, any friends or family. Sometimes I get family on here that join me, specifically from Colombia. So they're always joining me and showing me love and support. Nothing there. Okay, let me go on over. I got some questions on YouTube, it looks like. Okay. Okay, here's a question. I can actually post it on YouTube so you all can see it. Your Luis says he's a veteran, 100%, total disabled, and my spouse is trying to get a green card. I've been told there are different processes or steps. So Luis, so sponsorship of a spouse, it depends where your spouse is, okay? I'm assuming, Luis, that you are a U.S. citizen, okay? Once upon a time, you didn't have to be a citizen to be in the armed forces. I think now you do. But if you have been in for a while, enough to get 100% disability because of your service, and thank you for your service, by the way, then it depends on how long you've been in and whether you're a citizen or not. If you are a citizen, it depends, again, where your spouse is located. If she's in the United States, it's a different process from if she's outside of the United States. So if you provide a little bit more information, I could maybe give you a tad bit more detail than that. So go ahead and post it in the chat, and I'll answer it as I can. We've got a friend joining us from Morocco. So hello, thank you for joining us from Morocco. I'm not sure what time it is there, but I think it's probably very early in the morning. So thank you very much for joining us. 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, whatever time zone you're in. Okay, so Louise, she's in the United States. Okay, so Luis, I'm going to answer this, and then I'm going to get to Lucian. So the green card. So you are a U.S. citizen sponsoring your spouse in the United States. The process has a couple different steps. The other question I'll ask you is, what is her current status in the United States? How did she enter? And is she on some sort of visa right now? Those are very, very, very important questions now. They used to not matter as much as they do under this current administration. But the answer is yes. There's different processes, different steps to the process, and everything comes down to who, what, where, when, or how. Okay. So she's in the United States. Depends how she entered and whether she's in a current legal status or not. Okay. So without more information, I'll just leave it there. This might be a good time for me to post this for everyone. This link here is a link for what we call a case evaluation, a free case evaluation. So if you have additional questions that this live session isn't going to be able to answer for you, you can use that link to book a time to get a free case evaluation with a member of my team. And then it leads to me eventually. So that's how you do it if you don't get what you need on this program or through this video if you're watching on YouTube after the live. So that link is always good. So we have ongoing case evaluations, and we do not charge for that, as I mentioned 3 or 4 times intentionally. So, okay. So let me go back to Lucian. Okay. My citizenship was denied due to failing to provide IRS payment installment payments is what you mean. And you're joining us from Maryland. I haven't been to Maryland yet, so thank you for joining us in Maryland. So I don't see a question there, Lucian. I see a sad state of affairs to be denied your citizenship. And this is an ongoing theme that I've been trying to address in a lot of my videos and my lives, which are people do not do it yourself. Okay. People have done it off and on for years. This is not the time you're going to want to do that. Okay. Because things like that can be avoided if you actually have someone who knows what they're doing and it can guide you and prepare you for things like that. Okay. So Lucian, I'm sorry to hear that. Again, you can use that case evaluation link that I put up there. I absolutely could help you resolve this. It might involve a refiling, but this is something that is avoidable or correctable. So if you want to reach out through that link, I can help you succeed with your dream of becoming a naturalized citizen. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. Okay. So let me go back over to Instagram. Okay, 1 second here, folks. Reading some of these comments. Some of them I'm not repeating intentionally. Okay. Okay, here's a question. Yas Boutique. My parents have an initial interview for my family petition in April. The interview is in October. So the petition was filed in April. Now there's an interview. What should they expect? They were not expecting an interview. Another byproduct. And thank you for joining us from Philly. Love Philadelphia, an incredible city. Absolutely incredible. Really, really cool city. They were not expecting an interview. This is another byproduct of the current administration. They have changed how that works with children sponsoring parents. They used to never do that. Now they virtually always do interviews. They don't give any free passes to interviews. It is a little bit frustrating and sad. I will tell you that go Eagles. I like it. I will tell you that probably doing that case evaluation to get on my radar, to get on my schedule. I could set up a time to actually talk to them and help guide them into what to expect. I've been doing this for people for a while, that even though I haven't represented them, I'm still willing to do that. A lot of attorneys don't do it unless they start from the beginning. They're not willing to help or provide any amount of guidance or advice. So I will tell you to use that link, reach out, make sure you tell them, hey, when I was on the live session, attorney Marvin Lee told me to do the case eval and told me that he would be willing to help, talk through and prepare my parents for their interview. So how can we get help to prepare? Yes, and that's how you do it. Use that link, tell them that I told you to reach out to them, and then you'll get on the right path for me to help them with that, okay? Okay, so and let me look back here. I've got a question. Yeah, I agree. Rise Jerusalem. Thank you. Mojo Nar, type again, because I am looking. I'm trying to see where your question was. Okay, I see where you joined. I don't see your question, unless you're asking me for free permission to ask your question. So type your question again as Rise Jerusalem suggested, okay? And I'll be back to check that in a second. I'm going to go back over to my YouTube family here and see what I have here. From Ilyas, my wife, she's a green card holder. Our case is in the Nebraska Service Center. We already have waited 15 months. Do you have any idea when our case is going to get approved? So I'm wondering, my friend from Morocco, okay, and I got word that Instagram was not working for a little while there, and I hope it's back. So Ilyas, join us from Morocco. So my wife, she is a green card holder. So did she apply for you then? That's what I'm wondering. It's in the Nebraska Service Center. Is that for an I-130? I'm assuming that that's what it is. Usually there's about a 2-year wait. Let me look to see. I'm assuming I-130. Let's see. Let's see, the National Benefits Center, Nebraska. So I don't know what process you're looking at, because the I-130, I don't have the processing times for Nebraska. I have it for 3 of the different facilities, and Nebraska is not one of them. But again, that's between 17 months and 68 months. So I don't know if I will be able to answer that question. So yes, you say F2A, right? Let me, one second. Let me try to look this up. Let me look it up real quick. So visa bulletin. Let me look here. I'm trying to work quickly so I don't bore people. F2A. Morocco. So we're looking at February of 2024 is who they are currently processing requests for, okay? So F2A in the general world category, they're currently processing from February of 2024. So it might be another year plus for that, okay? So hopefully that helps you. If you have more questions, you can always use that free case evaluation link that I put above, and you can reach out to me directly. Okay, I'm going to go back over to Instagram. I know it's working again, so that is good. Okay, so now I see Mojo Nar. Do landlord issues in city court create a problem for green card extensions? Negative. Absolutely not even remotely is that going to create a problem for you. Because who doesn't have landlord issues these days? So no, that is not a criminal matter. Unless your landlord issue involves you fighting and getting into a physical fight with your landlord, and then, it's a criminal matter. But if it's just regular landlord tenant issues, then no, that's not going to have any impact on your green card extension or anything else related to immigration. Okay, so hopefully that helps. Okay, I'm looking at a question here. So I have asylum and I'm married too, but my husband pulled out the paperwork and I have court on the 17th of the month. What can I do? Okay, even Mojo Nar, even if it's money issues, no, that's a personal contract issue. If it was with the government, like the IRS, then that's a problem, but not with your landlord, okay? So you're good. So you have court on the 17th. I don't know what you mean by your husband pulled out the paperwork. Are you saying that your husband who filed for asylum, you're a derivative, your husband said, you know what, after all, I don't need asylum, and cancel the case? If you have court on the 17th of the month, that means I don't know what it means. It means that you definitely have some issues. If what I'm assuming is true, that your husband is kind of sabotaging the case, which is weird. If he's being deported too, why would he do that? But without additional information, that's the best I'm going to be able to provide to you today. So, yeah, very curious. Okay, so I'm going to go back over to YouTube and Facebook. No questions from Facebook tonight. So usually we have quite a few, but that's okay. If you're on Facebook, don't forget you can ask questions. And don't forget to subscribe and to like the channel. Or if it's on Facebook or Instagram, just like the post, okay? If you're on YouTube, check out all the cool stuff, okay? Okay, so Delmar, good evening to you too. Any changes with the military parole in place? I'm not tracking any changes to the program. It still moves forward the way it has for a while. Processing times, they change, they vary quite a bit because the local state and the field office is the one who makes the determination for military parole in place, whether to issue it or not. And how long it takes them to make that determination is all over the board. I would have no way of guessing that. I know, generally speaking, Michigan, because that's where I've done them in the past. But no, there are no changes to the military parole in place program. So yes. Okay, so I got a question about processing times for the N400. So I will tell you, they don't post that like they do other stuff. Let me double check. Maybe. Okay. Well, they do post it, but it's not the general field office. I mean, it's not the general processing centers. It's the actual field office. So it depends on where you're located. So I'm not even going to try to pronounce your screen name. Where are you located? That might help me. Or I can just tell you that the notes that I have right now, just a snippet of 5 different locations. San Diego is taking about 8 months. Chicago taking 8 months. New York 8 months. I'm sorry, 9 months. Detroit, 8.5 months. Houston, 8.5 months. So those are the select 5 that I have on here that I know their processing times for the N400 naturalization. Okay. So hopefully that helps you. Okay. So we're getting our last 5 minutes, and I'm going to go over to see if there's anything that I missed. Okay. Okay. So this is uh Bacino Mimi, the question about asylum. You filed for asylum and then you got married, but he stopped the process and now I have court for my asylum. Oh, so you were married and your husband started the green card process for you, but then stopped it for some reason, which is alarming to me to hear. And now all you have is court with your asylum case later this month. So the only thing you could do is go to court and try your case for asylum. Okay, that's the only thing left for you at this point in time, is to keep moving forward with your asylum and doing the best you can with that. Um, Hopefully you have a local attorney to help you with that, because it is not advisable to handle your own deportation defense with an asylum, because it's really difficult. So you don't know what to do. If you haven't hired an attorney for that, hopefully you have. Okay, you're from Venezuela. Hopefully you have the ability to hire somebody by then. Yeah, it's tough. But even if your husband didn't cancel the process, which is, I'm not going to judge, but that, I'm sure there's a reason. It just strikes me as very, very difficult to imagine that there's a good reason. But even with that, you would still have to move forward with your asylum case. So hopefully you've made backup plans to have representation for that, because you definitely have to move forward with that case. Okay. So good luck to you with that. Okay. So we're coming to our last 2 minutes of the live session for this week. And I want to throw out, if there's any other questions, quick questions, I can get to them. I never got to my prepared questions, but that's okay, because this was such a lively discussion tonight. I know that there's a lot of good information that was communicated. And God bless you too. Okay. Good luck to you. I sincerely hope things work out for you with your asylum case in court. But again, thank you everyone for joining. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out the video. If you want to go to YouTube in the next couple days, it'll be there in case you missed some of the stuff I said. And again, that link, I'm going to put it here again. If you all need additional assistance, this case evaluation link is a good way to maneuver to talk to me, so I can help you figure out your issues under this difficult time that we have right now. So again, thank you everyone for joining. Have a wonderful night. See you next Monday, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard or Detroit time. I really hope that I will see you all next week. Have a very, very good rest of your week.